Hello and welcome to the Faded Wildflower Crochet. My name is Rachel, and as I am posting this, it is Christmas Day. So if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. If you don't, I hope it is still a happy, nice, pleasant day for you. And maybe you got to spend it crocheting. Maybe you got to spend it with friends and family, maybe a little bit of both. I hope that either way, that is a great day for you. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you everything that I made for Christmas this year. Now, I wanted this video to be out sooner so that maybe you guys could get some inspiration for gifts that you wanted to make this year, but it just didn't work out that way. And so I'm hoping that maybe at least you could get some inspiration for gifts you want to make in the future, or maybe you got yarn as a gift this year and you're not sure what to do with it, or maybe you got some gift cards to buy yarn and you're not sure what yarn to buy. Maybe this can help you with that. And if not, then at least it's a nice, cozy time where I can just show you everything that I made for Christmas this year. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I made was a set of kind of kitchen-related items. And I made 3 of these sets already for my husband's grandparents, my husband's parents, my parents, and then I think I'm going to make another set for my grandma, but I haven't done that yet because I'm not going to see my grandma till after Christmas. But I will be making her a set as well. The first thing in the set is this little towel topper. Now, I do not have a pattern for this. This is something that I have been making for years. I think I've talked about this before, but my great-grandma crocheted, and she would make these for everybody growing up, and everybody loves them so much that now everybody wants me to make them for them. It's just a nice little thing where you put the button on and then you can hang it on your stove and just always have a towel handy. It looks cute and it's also very practical. I do not have a pattern. I just sort of make this up. I've done this in many different ways. With this one in particular, I crocheted onto the towel itself. I just kind of poked some holes and then just crocheted across it. You can also sew it on. I will try to find some sort of pattern if I can, so that you can make one of these yourself if you're interested. I did make this in the 100% cotton catch line of yarn. You will be seeing this yarn a lot, just a warning. I really enjoy this yarn for so many things. And if you are making kitchen-related items, you know that cotton is pretty much your best choice. So that's the first thing in the set. The second thing in the set is these 2 dishcloths. And again, I don't really have a pattern for this. I'll try to find a similar one. But basically what I did was just to crochet, alternating between single crochet, a double crochet, a single crochet, a double crochet, all the way across. And it makes this really nice texture that you can wash your dishes with. And then I just added a little loop here to the side so you can hang this up to dry. And these make such a good gift as well. And I like these for myself. I think that they are, again, so cute. You can make them in bright colors. You can make them in stripes. It's so customizable in that way. So they look nice in your kitchen, but then they're also practical. The next thing in the set is this set of coasters, which I guess isn't technically kitchen, but it's like kitchen adjacent because you're putting a cup on it. But I got this pattern. I actually do have a pattern for this, which is from TL Yarn Crafts. It is just a simple little coaster. Once you get it down, you can make so many of these. I think I made this whole set. I dropped one. I made this whole set last night while watching TV. That's just really a nice, relaxing pattern. You don't have to think too much about it. And again, both the dishcloth and these are made, again, in the 100% cotton catch yarn. I love using a crocheted coaster because it is a nice way to prevent, stains from getting on your coffee table, but they're not heavy like other coasters. Sometimes coasters can be kind of like heavy and you'll knock it down on the floor. And if you have little kids, then that's probably not something that you want. So these are, again, a great gift. And then the last thing in this set is this little, there's hair on it. Sorry about that. The last thing in the set is this little scrubby, and I did make this with the Red Heart scrubby yarn. I think that's what it's called. I don't love this yarn. I can't lie to you. It is just kind of rough on your hands as you're working with it. I mean, that's kind of the purpose of it, is to have this nice texture so you can wash dishes with it. But it is not nice on the hand as you're crocheting with it. You also can't really see your stitches, which doesn't bother me too much, especially for something like this where it doesn't really matter at all if you get your stitch count right. And again, I don't have a pattern for this. Lily is saying hi. You cannot see her. I will insert a clip as always. Hey, you're going to knock the tripod down, girl. That diabolical tail of yours. So essentially what I did for this is to just increase until it was the size that I wanted. And then I just decreased until, I could sew up the hole right there. And then I just took the sides where I wanted it to be flat and then just crocheted a border around. And that's it. It's pretty simple. I will, again, try to find a pattern of something similar and link it in case you're interested. But it really does not matter if you get this perfect because, again, you can't see your stitches anyway. And this is meant for washing dishes. So it doesn't have to be too beautiful, but it is a very practical gift. So now let's move on to some plushies. I made plushies for all 6 of my nieces and nephews. I'm trying to decide where to start. I guess I'll just start with the one that you have seen before. So here is the first one that I made, which you have already seen if you watched my video where I tested out this yarn, which is the Colorama Halo. And I absolutely love how this came out. It's funny because this is the only one that I ended up making in a different yarn. The rest I ended up making in the same type of yarn. So this one definitely stands out, but I think he is just so cute. And if you watch that video, you will know that I use this pattern from this designer that I never can pronounce the name of. And what I ended up doing was just switching to the different color to make it look like he's wearing a little sweater. And I was so inspired by that theme continues with the rest of the plushies, which you will see. But you guys have already seen this one, but this is the only one that you have seen. The rest of them you have not. So let's go ahead and get into the next one, which is this little bear. This one I made with the Catch Velvet, and it is sort of kind of the same pattern as the pig. So the body is actually exactly the same. I did the exact same thing where I just changed to a different color once I got to the portion I wanted to be the sweater, changed to the different colors on the arms. However, I was finding that I didn't like the size of the head for this particular pattern. Now, this does sometimes happen when you use a different yarn than the pattern designer tells you to use. It can end up looking a little too big, especially if a pattern is written in a medium weight and then you try to go to a bulky weight. This does sometimes happen. So I did just make the pattern for the head a little bit smaller. It was kind of just trial and error figuring out what size I wanted it to be. But the body portion, like I said, is exactly the same. And then I just, of course, did the ears a little different to make it look like a little polar bear. But I absolutely love him. He's so chunky and so sweet. But this is just a really easy way to make it look like an animal is wearing a sweater. It's just to change colors. Now, you will see as we continued on, I decided to make some of these animals actual sweaters. But this is an easy way to do that if you want to give it the illusion that it's wearing a sweater without actually having to make a separate piece. So here's where I started to get a little bit creative. This is made with, again, Catch Velvet as the plushie portion. And then this is 100% cotton that I made the sweater and the headband out of. Now, this is for my 5-year-old niece. And so she is the oldest of my nieces and nephews. And I thought that it would be fun for her to make a cardigan that she could take on and off if she wanted to. And I thought that if she really likes this idea, that I could continue to make her more clothes for her plushie as we go along. But this is just a hexagon cardigan that I made for this little cat. Now, if you watch my video, I have already talked about how much I am absolutely in love with the hexagon cardigan, which you'll continue to see as we go along. But I thought it would be so cute to make this. And so I just made it the right proportions, just did a little border around the side. And I do think I had to add like an extra row right here just to make it wide enough in the back. And then the headband, I'm trying to remember how I did the headband. I think I just did the headband in granny stripes and then just tied it together. So one half of it is pink, one half of it's purple, tied it up like that, and there you go. But I did think it would be fun to give her some little accessories. And like I said, if she does love this, I can continue to make her more. And I love that idea of like giving plushies little mini accessories. Like this is the real hexagon pattern, which again, I will link the one that I have, but all you have to do is make a hexagon for one side, a hexagon from the other side, sew it together. Pretty easy. And I think that it turns out just so darn cute. I absolutely love it. So the next one that I made is again for one of my nephews. And his name starts with an F. And then, of course, this is a frog. So I thought it would be really cute to put an F on his sweater. Now, for the sweater, I did just do a front panel, a back panel, sewed them together, and then crocheted on the arms, and then just, added a little bit of white on the sides there. And for the letter, I actually did surface slip stitches, which if you watched my video where I talked about different ornaments that I made, you will know that I did surface slip stitches wrong for most of my life. And now that I figured out the right way to do it, I'm trying to practice up on them. It's definitely not perfect, but I do think that it looks really cute, and I think my nephew's going to love it. For the sweater portion, by the way, I did just do like a V stitch across, and I think it looks pretty good. I think it's pretty cute. Oh, almost forgot to say that this pattern is made by Smallberry Studios on Instagram. I have talked about this pattern several times. I really like it. I've never actually made it with a little strawberry. I thought about giving him a little hat, but I didn't end up doing that. I do think that I might end up adding it. The next one that I made is this little duck, and it is once again by the same designer that designed the pig and also these snowy owls in the background. But I did end up changing it once again. Once I got into it a little bit, I realized it was a little bit bigger than I wanted it to be. And so I just changed it around a little bit, but it is based on her design. And it is just this little duck or goose. I'm not really sure which. And I just crocheted a granny square for the front panel. And then for the back panel, I just went back and forth in double crochet rows. Sewed those together, then crocheted on the arms, did a little border, and there you go. And then I put, of course, a little flower in the hair to match. And now I did use safety eyes on all of these plushies. I know that people will say that safety eyes are not the safest option for babies and toddlers. So I do recognize that, but I do feel like my siblings and siblings-in-law will use their best judgment when it comes to these plushies and hopefully not leave their kids alone with them. And I feel like for this one in particular is for a little tiny baby. It'll probably end up sitting on a shelf for a little while until she's old enough to really play with it anyway. I just do personally love the way safety eyes look. I love the touch that they give. But if you want to, you can always just embroider eyes on. You can sew eyes on with felt. I like doing that as well. But that is how I did this one. So the last plushie that I made is this little tiny penguin, which I completely freehanded this penguin. I do feel like the end result ended up really good, but I did mess up where I put the safety eyes into this blue portion. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I wanted to put white around the eyes. And so I had to crochet a circle around and then sew it. So it maybe looks a little bit funky, but I do think that the end result was quite cute. Again, it is Catch Velvet that I made this with, and this is Catch Cotton. And then for the earmuffs, this is Catch Fluffy, which I just kind of crocheted little puff balls and sewed them on. And then I took a dog brush, which is not Lily's actual brush. I have a separate brush that I use for crochet. And I just fluffed this out, and it makes it look so cute. I love this trick. I think I heard somebody talking about it on Instagram of just taking a fluffy yarn and brushing it and making it even more fluffy. I have done this with other yarns in the past, like acrylic yarns and stuff. I don't know why I didn't think to do it with fluffy yarn, but it really does give the effect like these are little pom-poms. And then with the sweater, I did just do, I think these are half double crochet, just stripes. Sewed those together, crocheted on the arms once again, did a little white border, and there you go. I think that it did turn out really cute. I was kind of freaking out because I didn't have any black yarn for a penguin, and then I saw this dark blue, and I was like, actually, all of these colors together look so cute. Do you guys do that sometimes where you want to make a plushie and you're like, I don't have the right colors for this? I'm just going to make something work. So that's what we did with this one. So I really, really wanted to make a penguin. I'm not sure why, but I think I'm going to revamp this one a little bit and include the white portion before putting in the eyes. And then I might make a pattern of this because I really, really love how this turned out. So that is all of the plushies that I made. So now we are getting to the last 3 gifts, which are the 3 gifts for the people in my household. Now, I have to tell you right off the bat that none of these are done, and one of them is not even started. But I am pre-filming this so that I don't have to film during Christmas break while my kids are home. So I will have plenty of time to finish it, and hopefully editing Rachel can insert some photos. So this is what I am working on for my husband. I have to be careful because this is still attached. But this is actually made with the Catch Baby Cotton is what it's called. So it is part cotton, part acrylic. And I think I talked about this in my video where I tier ranked all of the yarns that I tried this year. I was like, oh, this one's like not really my favorite. I kind of prefer the 100% cotton. I'm just not really sure what to do with this one, which was true until I decided to double it up for this hat. Because I started it out just using it, just one strand. And I liked it okay, but I was like, I'm not really sure. I just like don't love the way it looks or feels. And then I doubled it up and oh my goodness, it's perfect. I absolutely love it. It does have a nice softness to it. I think that's why I just really wasn't sure what to make with this because the texture of it is so different than other yarns that I've tried before because it is cotton and acrylic. So it does have the structure of cotton while also having like the softness of acrylic. And I just wasn't sure what to do, but I did end up doubling this up using 2 strands throughout. And I absolutely love the way this is turning out. Like I said, this is for my husband and the colors are inspired by his favorite basketball team, which is of course the Oklahoma City Thunder. I once again do not have a pattern, but what I did was just make the bottom ribbing right here, just up and down in rows all the way around, attached it. And then I just attached the yarn to go around it. And then I'm just going to keep continuing up as long as I want it to, seam it up. And it will end up being kind of a slouchy hat because that's the style of hat that he likes. But it is just very basic. The ribbing here is just in single crochets. And then this part is just half double crochets throughout. It's again one of those patterns where I don't have to think about it. I can just make it while I'm watching TV or whatever. And I am loving how these colors look. They're so beautiful. My husband actually does already know about this hat. When it comes to making things that have to fit somebody, I am not very good at just guessing, and I would rather spoil the surprise and have something that is actually going to fit them than have it be a surprise and it not fit them and it be like a disappointment. So I did already measure this to his head to make sure it was the right size and everything. And it is, and I already know that he's going to love this, but, you know, again, not a surprise, but that's okay. What is also not a surprise is this sweater that I'm working on for my youngest daughter. This is the first panel done. I, again, just needed to measure it to her body, and I also just decided, since it wasn't going to be a surprise anyway, that I would have my daughters pick out the yarn that they wanted to use. This is, once again, the Colorama Halo. If you can tell, I really like to stick to yarns that I really like when it comes to making gifts. Now, I love to experiment with different yarns. You see that on the channel, that I like to make tons of different videos of trying different yarns and seeing how they work up. But when it comes to giving a gift to somebody, I'd rather use something that I know that it's tried and true, that I know is going to work. And so this is, once again, Colorama Halo. I love it so much. You can see that it is a darker purple here and then kind of slowly fades to a lighter purple. And I am working on the second panel right now. And then, of course, I will sew them together and then do a ribbing. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with this lighter pink for the ribbing or if I'm going to go to the white color for the ribbing. We will see once we get to that part. But I am loving how this is turning out. And again, these are so quick that I will definitely have time to finish this before Christmas. But she knows that it's coming. And so if it's a little late, not a big deal. So the one other gift that I have not even started on yet is the same exact sweater, but for my older daughter. Now, I talked about in this video, or at least put on the screen, that she stole my other sweater and she has worn it to school before. I did steal it back from her because I wanted to wear it, but she is almost the same height as me. And so she's already stealing my sweater. The penguin sweater that I wore in this video, she's stolen that one as well. So I'm going to be making her very own sweater so she doesn't have to keep stealing mine. But this one is the color. I don't think I said the name of the other color. I will hopefully have it on the screen though, because I don't exactly know where the yarn is and I don't want to pull it out right now. But this one is the color Beet Red, which is kind of a funny name for this color because it is red only right here in the center. Then it goes to pink and then it goes to purple. And I love this colorway. I think it's going to be so cool worked up. And again, hopefully editing Rachel is inserting a photo of how it came out and that it came out beautifully. I don't know. I did want to finish everything for everybody else first, since we're actually gifting them this coming weekend. And these don't have to be done at any particular time, but I thought I would go ahead and talk about them anyway. That is everything. And looking around now, I'm like, I actually crocheted quite a bit of things already, and I still have more to do. I did decide to take the entire month off of December from making custom orders so that I did have time to make gifts for friends and family. And it was really important to me to be able to do that. And of course, instead of using my break time to just rest my hands, I'm instead crocheting like crazy. But, you know, that's who I am as a person, I guess. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this cozy little video. And again, I hope you're having a very Merry Christmas. You will have to let me know which of these plushies was your favorite. If I had to pick, it would be this little kitty. I just love the hexagon cardigan. I think it turned out so stinking cute. Have you ever crocheted little clothes for your plushies? Because if you have not, I definitely recommend it. It is so fun. And as always, I want to know, what were you working on as you watched today's video? If you did like today's video, be sure to hit the like button. You can subscribe, stick around. Let me know what other kind of videos you want to see next. Follow me on Instagram. You can check out my Etsy shop. You can join my Patreon, where I make bonus videos as well as an exclusive pattern once a month. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.